is the third separation technique that we're going to talk about. It is crystallization. This is actually an improved form of getting a purer substance compared to evaporation to dryness. Now you can see here, same thing, crystallization is the technique of separating solute from a solvent in a solution. So same thing is a solution. I'm trying to get the solid from the liquid. But in this case here, this is the improved form because I'm able to obtain a purer, I wonder if that's the right word. Maybe I'll use the word more pure. So the substance become more pure. Never mind. More pure. Yep. So more pure solid sample here. So just take note, crystallization is better method. Now, so how do we do crystallization? Okay, first step, what we're gonna do is for crystallization, we take the beaker, put it over a tripod stand, where our solution is inside here, and we heat it up. So what we're gonna do is when you heat it up, the water level will drop. But in this case here, we're just gonna let it drop all the way. We're gonna let the water level drop until it reaches a saturated solution, until it becomes a saturated solution. Because you heat it up, and so obviously it'll be hot. Okay, so we'll heat up until it becomes a hot, saturated solution. You can see that there's an asterisk here. It's because at the bottom here, it tells you a bit more. So how do we know we have reached a saturated solution? So what you'll do is you'll take a clean glass rod and dip it into the hot solution. Okay, so just imagine I got this is my hot saturated solution. I'll take my nice little glass rod, I'll put it in, and then I'll remove it. Okay, I'll remove it. So actually, think about it. When I put my glass rod in, there's actually solutions around it. Okay, there's solution around it. So when I take it out from my beaker and let it cool, I'll actually see my crystals forming at the side, small crystals forming. And if it does happen, we know that our saturation is solution. Our solution is saturated. Okay, so this is the way how we can test for a saturated solution. Now, once we have reached a hot saturated solution, our second step is to allow it to cool. Okay, so we just take the beaker here and we will just allow it to cool. So this is at room temperature. Allow to cool. Okay, interestingly, the water level will just drop a tiny little bit. But because the temperature has dropped, okay, from hot to now room temperature, solids will form. And let me draw nicely here. These are my crystals. Crystals will start to form. Okay, this is my solution, hot solution. This is now a cool solution. Okay, cooled solution. By cooling it down from a hot saturated solution, it will actually form the crystals. Okay, once the crystals are formed, next step what I have to do is I need to get rid of the solid. Okay, sorry, not get rid. I have to separate the solid from the liquid. So how do I do that? Remember our very first separation technique? Okay, to separate a solid from a liquid, what do? We use filtration. Okay, sorry here, let me erase it. We use filtration. So at this point here, we take the beaker. Okay, we're just gonna pour the thing out into our filter funnel with the filter paper. And we have a conical flask here. Right? So after you pour it in, what you're gonna obtain? Okay, let's draw it nicer. Conical flask. And you're gonna have your crystals here, and you're gonna have your solvent here. So this is your filtrate, which is your solution. And you're gonna have your residue here, it's your crystals. Now, most of the time people will just stop here. However, obviously if you want to get a clean sample, you have to wash it a little. So what we tend to do is, at this point, okay, at the setup when we got our crystals here, sorry for the misspelling mistake. Our crystals here, we'll take some water, okay, using our nice little distilled water bottle. Okay, we'll add some drops to clean the crystal. Okay, this is the washing process. And then we'll dry it on a filter paper. So the triangles here I'm drawing are your crystals. These are your crystals. So this is your drying process. So this is actually your process of crystallization. Okay, you can see here I've actually talked through 3 different techniques. Filtration, okay, all the way right at the top here, filtration. I've talked about evaporation to dryness. I've talked about crystallization. These are the 3 methods which you'll use quite a lot in the chapter of salts, right, especially in preparation. So you need to take note of it. Now, at the end here, what we're going to do is, I have given you a practice question, right? Do try it out and see whether you are able to use the different various separation technique to obtain pure substances, or I should say as pure as you can of the various substances. Right? Thank you very much. This is the end of your part 3, or maybe part 4, whatever.